Is it true that the sun stood still? At Joshua chapter 10 verse 12 to 14 may just describe the most amazing miracle of all time. The day the sun stood still. But first, please subscribe by clicking the button below. Thank you very much. Let's see what the Bible says about it. Joshua chapter 10 verse 12 to 14, it reads, It was then on the day that Jehovah routed the Amorites before the eyes of the Israelites, that Joshua said to Jehovah before Israel, Sun, stand still over Gibeon. Moon, over the Valley of Aiʹja. So the sun stood still, and the moon did not move until the nation could take vengeance on its enemies. The sun stood still in the middle of the sky, and did not hasten to sit for about a whole day. There has never been a day like that one, either before it or after it. When Jehovah listened to the voice of a man, for Jehovah was fighting for Israel. God miraculously provided 24 hours of light to help Israel defeat their enemies, the Amorites. Is this a true story or just a myth? Let us investigate why this occurred and why God permitted it to happen. Let's take a closer look at why Joshua wants the sun to keep shining. When the 5 bad kings of Canaan began to fight against the Gibeonites sent a man to ask Joshua for assistance. Come to us right away, he declares. Please save us. All the kings of the hill country have gathered to fight your servants. Joshua and all of his fighting men leave right away. They march all night. When they arrive in Gibeon, the soldiers of the 5 kings are terrified and begin to flee. Then Jehovah makes large hailstones to fall from the sky, and more soldiers are killed as a result of being hit by the hailstone than by Joshua's fighting men. Joshua can see that the sun will set soon. It will be dark, and many of the 5 bad kings' soldiers will flee. So Joshua prayed to Jehovah and then says, Sun, stand still, and as long as the sun shines, the Israelites will be able to complete their victory. It is true that the sun has stopped moving. Today, many people do not believe this story because they find it difficult to believe that the sun will not set. This occurrence has been explained in a variety of ways. Let's take a look at a few of them. 1. Some argue that a local miracle occurred when God allowed light to remain in Gibeon, similar to how the Hebrew had light even when the Egyptians were in the dark. However, because the sun did not set, the text appears to indicate an actual change in the Earth's rotation. 2. Others argue that the passage language is poetic and should not be taken literally. Other issues arises as a result of this point of view. First and foremost, how does a reader know that this event is figurative and not a literal? Applying figurative interpretation to difficult biblical passages does not provide satisfactory solution. 3. Another explanation is that the event was caused by an eclipse, which gave the appearance of a long day in which the sun did not set. Alternatively, a combination of an eclipse and retracted light in the atmosphere may have caused the day to appear longer than usual. God set up the events to coincide miraculously with Joshua's prayer and time of need. The main flaw in this viewpoint is that an eclipse typically lasts minutes rather than hours. 4. Take Joshua's chapter 10 as face value. God performed an extremely impressive miracle, causing the sun to delay its setting, and God stopped the motion of the earth. There are physics-based objections to this explanation, but the God who created the world and established natural laws is perfectly capable of compensating for any collateral complications. We may not be able to explain how God performed this miracle scientifically, but He did. Personally, I believe the fourth explanation. From an earthbound perspective, Joshua described the miracle exactly as we would. The sun appears to move from the perspective of a person standing on earth. While we may not fully comprehend how this long day came to pass, a miracle does not need to be scientifically proven, only accepted. Joshua prayed, and God miraculously provided the light required for Joshua's army to win the battle. The lengthened day was ended unlike anything seen before. But in Joshua's viewpoint, the greater miracle was that God listened to him and answered such an amazing prayer. In Canaan, there are many more cruel kings who despise God's people. It takes Joshua and his army about 6 years to defeat the land's 31 kings. The entire story can be found in your Bible at Joshua chapter 10, verse 6 to 15, chapter 12, verse 7 to 24, chapter 14, verse 1 to 5. Conclusion: the story is true, and it is recorded in the Bible for our benefits today. That if God says something might be difficult for us to understand, but it is a simple task for God. Similarly to resurrection, God promises that good people will be resurrected even if they pass away. It is difficult for us to comprehend, but for God, it is a simple thing to do, just as Jesus did for Lazarus. That's all for now, my friends. Thanks for watching. Please click the subscribe button below for more videos to come. See you again in my next video. Bye-bye.